Okay, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Bobby Piton here with PreActive Investments. Hi, Jules, Seattle Runner, and Elishiva. Seattle Runner, I'm not sure why you'd be blocked on Telegram. I'll see if I could take a look because there have been other people that have said that they're getting blocked on Telegram. And I'm not sure who's doing the blocking, but I do know that I'm not the one doing the tackling. I'm not sure what's going on, folks. I've heard that some people aren't getting notified on Telegram of my posts. And I don't know what to say. It's one of those things where I'm wondering if Telegram's going to sell out to some big tech company. They're going to make them an offer they can't refuse, and then next thing you know, that they're going to get shut down. So I've been thinking about how to deal with that issue, and hopefully we can just continue to build an audience in multiple locations, just in case one of them shuts me off. But with that being said, markets are kind of calm today. I'm not sure if they hit another new high. Let's take a quick look. Let's see. Today, another 52-week high on the S&P, 453.07. Gold prices are hovering around the same level. VIX is at about 16, 17. That's the volatility index. Treasuries are still under 130. So all seems to be good. Nobody thinks there's any risk. The bond market is pricing as though there's no inflation, and assets are at all-time highs. So it's a difficult environment if you're looking to buy things, but it can be done. There are some things worth buying. They're not exciting. They're not moving very fast. And you have to remember something. Short term, the stock market is a voting machine. Long term, it's a weighing machine. And when I use the word weighing machine, this is Buffett's quote. It's not my quote, but it's a wonderful quote because it really sums up what your job is as a portfolio manager. You want to identify which companies can do the best job of pulling money out of their operations. So let me explain it to you this way. What does that mean exactly? Well, if you make, we're just going to make it super simple. Let's assume you make $1,000 a week and you work 50 weeks. You make 50 grand a year. So if you were making $50,000 a year and you managed to save $2,000 a year after all your expenses, you would have a 4% profit margin. So now if you have a 4% profit margin, if I had to say, okay, how well is Sally going to do over the next 10 years if she's saving $2,000, and I'm trying to decide, is Sally going to get a raise and make more money and then have more money to invest? Or will Sally start to do silly things, Sally doing silly things, right? And start squandering that $2,000. Maybe she goes in the hole $2,000 next year and wipes out what she saved this year. And so I'm basically looking out 7 to 10 years and saying, do I think Sally's a good bet? Is Sally going to put aside that $2,000 and invest it? And then she's in a great part of the economy. So all of a sudden, Sally might go from making $50,000 to $100,000 a year. So then her savings rate goes from $2,000 a year to $20,000 a year. And it's like, wow, that is a good stock. Sally would be a good stock to bet on. And so if she sold shares and herself, I might be like, okay, if you only do $2,000 a year and Sally's willing to sell a piece of her earnings for the next 10 years for $1,000, she said, you know what, Bobby, if you give me $1,000 today, I will give you 5% of what I make over the next 10 years. I would do that all day long if she was a good risk, because it's like if she gets a raise and she does well, and then all of a sudden her savings rate goes from $2,000 up to $20,000, my $1,000 might be made back to me literally in 1 year off of the dividends that she would pay. So trying to explain the job of portfolio manager in real simple terms, but it's literally looking at companies in the same way you'd look at Sally and be like, do these guys know what they're doing? Are they living a good life? Are they making good decisions? Are they squandering what they make? Are they putting the money to work properly? And it's not easy, right? There's a lot of moving parts. Sometimes Sally might have just lost her job, right? And then you got to make a decision. Do you think that you should bet on Sally because she just lost her job, but she's got a skill set that there's a lot of people that need to hire her? And so will she move and take the job right away, or is she going to sit on the beach for 6 months? And I know I'm using really simple examples here, but with regards to a company, when you have 1,000 Sallys, and they're all working at the same company, and something changes, somebody has to make a decision as to what they do next, in terms of the company. And if business, the industry is changing, or the dynamics are changing in the industry. And so you'd be like, okay, these people need to eat. They need to feed their family. Let's come up with something, right? That's the idea. So if you have a company, if you've ever been a business owner in your life, or if you work for a corporation and you manage people and you manage a number of people, it's not an easy thing, right, to fire people because your business fell apart, right? Or you're not getting enough business and you have to make a tough decision. It's one thing when the labor is cheap, right? If you have a lot of part-time, first job type of people, it's not as difficult, right? Because the people that went to work for you in those situations, they kind of know their days are numbered. They know they're going to move on to something bigger and better. So an internship or working part-time somewhere, it's not as big of a deal. It's not as much stress. So if you have to lay off somebody in a short-term, part-time type of position, it's not stressful. Now, if you're a manager and you have to lay off somebody who's making $100,000 a year and who has 2 kids and, or 3 kids, and, you have to make that cut and you got to fire 5 other people because your business is losing money, or you're bleeding, or the management team above you screwed up, that's stress, right? I don't care who you are. Even, most human beings would be stressed by that. Now, some people are slightly better equipped to deal with it and stomach those difficult choices that need to be made at times. But for the survivability of a company or an institution, sometimes those changes do need to be made, right? That's the problem. And so it just so happens my skill set lends well to what I'm describing. I can manage stress better than most, and I know, but I'm very careful about how I make my decisions leading up to that stress. So I try to diffuse that, and the same goes for managing money. Try not to be overly stressed. The best way not to be overly stressed is do your damn homework. If you do your homework and you do your work as to why you're going into something when you buy it, or why you're making a decision, you'll have peace of mind. If you don't do the work and then you're just kind of shooting from the hip, and then you make a few things and they're working, and then you take a couple more shots where you shoot from the hip, and then everything starts to go wrong at one time, I think it can lead to a very disastrous outcome, and possibly can stress you out to the point where it kills you. So I don't know. That's why a lot of people on Wall Street, believe it or not, do die from stress. And so anyways, there you go, Tom. Plan your work and work your plan. Absolutely. But I'm joking around because I remember somebody about 15 years ago, they told me that on the trading desk. They said when they got in the business in the early 20s, there was like 5 people in the cube, right? They kind of set you up in a horseshoe type of cube in these old trading desks that they used to have on the trading floor. And they say, when I got into this business, there was like 3 other guys with me, or 3 other coworkers or whatever, guys, gals, I don't know who they were, but back then there was just 2 sexes, folks, male and female. But I don't know about nowadays. Maybe there's 10 of them. I don't know. But anyways, they had the 5 people in the cube, and he goes, one of these guys dropped dead of a heart attack at like 38. Like one of them had a nervous breakdown. And I'm sitting there like, man, and keep in mind, I'm chuckling about it because I heard about these stories over my career. And I've known some people that have literally just like crashed, like psychologically crashed, that is. And it's not fun to watch. It's not a fun thing to watch. I'm just saying it's, what's interesting about it and why I'm kind of chuckling is some people think that, it's easier than it looks, right? That's why I joke around and say it's a lot easier than it looks when people say they can do some of these things. It looks easy when you watch somebody hit a baseball, right? First of all, I can't hit a fastball. My life depended on it, right? I could swing 1,000 times. I don't think I hit the damn thing. Maybe I get lucky and chip it. But my point is that, when you're watching and you watch somebody ice skate, like, I could do that. I think I could do that. and sure enough, you go out there and you can't. So anyways, I'm just chuckling about that aspect of it. But there isn't a whole lot going on today. There aren't a whole lot of companies reporting. So what I figure I do is I'm going to show you guys, when you go to sec.gov, when you could turn around and look at different reports that are coming out by the government. So I'm going to go share my screen right now. Hold on a second. All right. And so I was just looking at the S&P. But if you go to the sec.gov, and, there's this form type right here to the right. You see this? Form type. So if you go to form type and, you want to know what you could pull up, right? Here's a 10K. You can look right here. Hold on a second. Okay. Oh, wait. I got to expand this more. Sorry, folks. Okay. So if you go to that tab and you hit form type, you'll be able to see what type of reports there are. Okay. So, like, once again, there's all these different types of reports, offering statements under Reg A. And then 10K, 10D, 13F is positions. This is quarterly holdings. This is of various managers that are reporting. So we can look at 13F. I'm going to pull up a 13F for you guys to look at, so you can see what people are buying theoretically. If you wanted to see what different hedge funds or money managers are buying, 13FHR. So we'll maybe pull one of those up, 13FHR, and you can see. Look at how many different reports there are. Isn't this crazy? Look at this. It just goes. It keeps going and going and going. Anyways, there's a lot of different types of reports. And, you can understand why when you get going on this, right, you want to automate as much as humanly possible, because the amount of information that you can get is just literally off the charts. So if you have creative ways of using that information, you'll tend to do pretty well in the markets, because it's a fire hose every day. There's so much data and information coming out. But right here, I did the 13F HR. So, British Airways, pension, investment management. If you look here, you can see what the British pension British Airways pension invests in. You can look at Lombard and Kellner. I don't have any idea who they are, but, you can look at them. So if you have an idea of who you care about, you can pull these reports down and take a look at what they're buying. So let's just, for the heck of it, let's look at the pension. Let's see what they're buying. They're based out of London. Bad weather, right? Lousy weather, as they like to say. So we're going to go to the information table and see what they have. Let's go to the videotape. It's kind of weird. It only shows. I don't know why it only shows one security. That's the S&P, and this is. It's kind of weird that they don't have anything else. Hold on a second here. Okay, bad example. We're gonna have to go back to a different one. So let's go to. This was filed today. That's weird. There's nothing in it. So maybe they're keeping that thing open for some reason. So let's go to Menlo Advisors. Never heard of them. Okay, so 13F Menlo Park, California. Simple enough. Menlo Advisors. They just named it after the city. So then we'll go to 13F, and then we'll see what we have here. So here's the text file. So if you know how to code, you can pull down text files and probably do something with the data. So now we're just going to go into the information table. Oops, this isn't XMHL. Okay, here we go. So what they own right now. Okay, so here's the deal. I will explain what each column is briefly, the name of what the security is here to the left, the title of what type of stock it is. The QSIP is a number that is assigned to any security in the markets. Here's the value in millions. So this position right here is $4.7 million of this convertible. This is the number of shares they own, 3,335 shares of this particular convertible Bank of America bond. So they have $3.6 million of Abbott. I'm gonna expand this a little because it's a little easier to see. You don't have to worry about seeing what's on the right, but if you wanted to look at this firm and see what they have Berkshire Hathaway. They have $24 million of that. They have $18 million of Google. They have $5 million of CVS. Let's see, Twitter, $7 million. Disney, $4 million. Basically a very vanilla type of fund. Buying the largest companies seems to be the game plan. Let's see what they have in total AUM. Let's see if that's in here. It doesn't add up. So they have Unilever. So let's take a look and see if the primary document, here we go. So the person that reported this is right here. They're listed. Her name is Tracy Seymour. She's the CFO. Just to list the phone number. And you can see they have $185 million that they're managing in this fund. Okay? So that's what's going on right here. So 13F, this is what you can pull down at different types of firms. Sometimes when you read the news stories on, like on CNBC, or you see something come across the wire, and it's like, Buffett just bought this, and you're wondering, how did they find out what Buffett bought? Well, they found out what Buffett bought because someone read it here. That's what's going on, folks. So let's look at the 10Qs. This is the quarterly reports. So there's an F45 training. I think there's an F45 by my house. I think it's an Australian company. Okay, so they have a California address, and they just reported. So I didn't know this thing was public. Hold on a second. F45, let's take a look. So there's a F45 gym by my house. It's a new chain. And let's take a look. Okay, franchisees. So they're doing, they have $53 million of current assets. Bigger company than I thought. Liabilities of $48 million. Wow. Long-term liabilities. Holy cow, $415 million. They've lost $243 million. Let me expand this some more. You can see right there, that's the accumulated deficit since they went public. They've lost $243 million. Let's look at their revenue. Okay. Revenue, obviously this is a gym, folks, so year over year, revenues are coming back as gyms have opened up across the country. So let's see what happens if they're going to try to shut some of these guys down again. $20 million in franchise revenue. Equipment and merchandise sales, $6.2 million. And then, wow, they lost $30 million in the quarter. That's unbelievable. Loss on derivative liabilities. What the hell are you guys doing? Are they trading? I don't understand. Loss on derivative liabilities. They might have lost $23 million in one quarter. So I don't know what is going on here. Maybe they issued some converts. Let's take a look if we could see it in the, okay. So loss on derivative liabilities, $48 million in losses the first 6 months of the year. What the hell did they get involved in? Hold on a second. Let's see what the ticker is. That's just crazy. FXLV. FXLV. Okay? See how much fun it is, guys, when you read the filings? You can find out about some companies you didn't even know they went public. They don't always list them everywhere. And FXLV, F45 training, the 10Q came out today. Stock's down 6%. It might be down 6% because people read the damn thing and are like, what the hell are you guys doing? So this thing, did it just go public? Let's take a look. 6 months ago. So it just went public July 15th. Look at that. So July 15th, it just went public. Can't go back more than July 15th. And it went at $16.20. It's worth $1 billion right there. Okay? $1 billion just went public. The stock is down since it went public about 9%. On the day, it is down 6%. So you sit there and you're like, why is it down 6%? Well, what I would tell you is if you look at the filing, the 10Q that just came out, I don't know about you guys, but when I read that, I was like, how the hell are you guys losing $50 million? But meanwhile, this company, surprisingly, is it's worth $1 billion, right? I think I need to go public. What the hell am I running for Congress for? I need to just go public with what I'm doing. If I could get $1 billion valuation out of the gate. Anyways, that's unbelievable, folks. Really wild stuff. But so that's it. There's nothing really going on. 10Ks, 10Qs. You can look at 13Fs. Look over the description, see what sparks your fancy. And, look into some of these companies. You can pull them up by ticker. You can pull them up by report type, who reported today. And if you're looking for anyone to possibly manage your money or invest on your behalf in a way that's based in logic and math, right? Between those two things, I guess you can say math is logical, but also just using logic in terms of reading what's happening in the world and applying it to creating investment portfolios. Feel free to check me out. Send us a message on PreActiveInvestments.com. But nothing else really going on. It's a very nice, calm day. It's actually a nice thing. We didn't wake up to some crazy stuff happening in Asia or Europe, or even on our soil. I know that I live in a horrific state called Illinois, and some of this stuff is going to be this stuff going on in Illinois. I do believe is unconstitutional. I think the people of Illinois should fight back. It's a violation of our 14th Amendment rights of the U.S. Constitution. U.S. Constitution trumps all laws of any state. So if a state tries to pass a law that's unconstitutional, the public should simply not follow it. And that's what I would advise people. Don't follow any rules or laws that are unconstitutional. And, we all need to push back against tyranny. And this is the way that we do it. So, all right. So I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. And I will be on later on this evening for day 191 of the greatest book ever written. Now, keep in mind, it's a little faster than normal because I don't like to repeat some of the stuff that's just nonsense to me that's in the Bible. Anyways, I think some of the stuff is nonsense. I don't need to know everything going on with various families and who took control over the other family member. I'm not interested in that piece. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless.